Hello everyone and welcome back to Exam Prep Solutions. In today's video, we're going to be tackling a statics practice problem, finding reactions in a beam. So follow along with this one and try to answer the problem before I go over the solution. If you want an amazing framework to answering problems in a 5-step way, you can download my free guide, The 5 Steps to Solving Any FE Exam Problem, down below. Let's jump into this practice problem here. Okay, so we have a diagram. I've got the excerpt from the FE reference manual. Basically, on the test, if you search for moments, couples, system of forces, this should pop up pretty easily. And then I have the diagram here, and it's worded like an FE exam problem. So it says here, a simply supported beam of length of 10 feet is supported by a pin at A and a roller at B. A 500-pound downward point load is applied 4 feet from support A. What is the vertical reaction at support B? So over here, we've got A of X, A sub Y, 500 pounds. We have the different distances, and then we have B sub Y, which is what we are trying to find. So if we want to find what the reaction is and assuming equilibrium, so the forces and the moments are going to equal 0, we can assume that it is static. Right off the bat, if we were just to quickly solve for the force in the X direction, A of X, well, we know A of X would be going to the right, B sub X would have no reaction, and so it would be 0. So we're just left with that Y reaction here. Let's break down how we're going to do that. Since we're trying to solve for B sub Y, we're going to take the moment about the other side. So we're going to take sum of the moments about A. And we want to determine direction. It doesn't actually matter which direction you pick as long as you keep the signage consistent. But we're going to assume that because of this 500-pound load, that the sum of the moments about A, we're just going to sum it this way. We're going to assume that clockwise is our positive direction here. So sum of the moments about A. What do we have in this diagram? So we're going to leave A sub Y out because we're taking the sum of the moments about A. We have this 500-pound load, and then we're going to multiply it by the moment arm length, which is 4 feet. We can see here times 4. That's going to give us 2,000 foot-pounds, right? B sub Y is going to be 4 feet plus 6 feet, 10 feet times B sub Y. Now, B sub Y is going to be reacting upwards, right? So that's going in the opposite direction of what we assumed here. So we got to keep the signage consistent. So we have 2,000 minus 10 times B sub Y, equals 0 because it's static, correct? So if we continue to do our arithmetic here, we're going to subtract 2,000 to the other side of the equation. So we have negative 2,000 equals a negative 10 times B sub Y. If we do some quick math here, negative 2,000, and you should be using your FE certified calculator for this to get as much practice as possible with that, equals 200. So B sub Y, the reaction at B in the Y direction, is going to be 200 pounds. This means that B is going to be the correct answer on this problem. So this is a very straightforward and pretty typical FE exam problem. I definitely remember getting a couple like these on the test, and you want to have these fundamentals down. To quickly review where you can get tripped up on problems like this, even if this is a simple beam reaction problem. The first one is not making sure your signage is consistent. You may assume either direction, but B sub Y also has to be assumed regarding that direction the same way. So if you're assuming clockwise is the positive direction, but B sub Y is reacting upwards against that, you need to make sure to apply the negative signage to that. Also, you need to make sure and take note of the diagrams. Don't just assume because you see the 500 pounds in the middle of the beam that it's 5 foot from A or 5 feet from B. Pay attention to the diagrams they give you. They may be slightly visually misleading at times. And so 4 feet is where the 500-pound load is from. And so small little inconsistencies here and there is going to hurt your chances of getting the problem correct. So just make sure you pay attention to details. And when you find and put in the final answer, 200 pounds upwards, we got B sub Y equals plus 200 pounds. We assumed up was the positive direction. So they might put on the test upwards, downwards, upwards, downwards. Just make sure your signage is consistent with that. So that is how to solve this pin and roller static beam problem. If you have any questions, leave it in a comment down below. Like I said, you can pick up my free guide, The 5 Steps to Solving Any FE exam problem, in the description down below. I also have a 90-day FE exam plan that you can follow to help pass the test. So thank you so much for watching. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video.